This I have to tell my kids.
There's a day that I saw Jesus.
wait. What do you
I've
mean?
seen Jesus with my own two eyes.
This podcast is proudly sponsored by Visionary Marketing.
Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of the Just to Kick It is a Blessing podcast with your host Keith Tupac Gatiramu. Thank you for coming to the podcast where we teach, motivate, and inspire through the art of storytelling. And I want to ask you guys for one favor. This podcast grows because of you. So share it with the people out there. Let it grow. The bigger it grows, the better it gets. And today in studio, I have a special guest with me. I'll let him introduce himself and then I'll tell you how we first met. So without further ado, I'll let him introduce himself.
Oh, welcome guys. So over here it's Sabi Wu, aka Mask. Some people may know me as Ganjo, man of many names. But yeah, here I am with Tupac today. Just to kick it is a blessing. I am an artist. I am a producer. I am a student. I'm a businessman. I am many things. Depends on how you know me. But yeah, that is me.
Yeah. Well, first of all, even before I get to the questioning part of this thing, I just want to really actually give you your flowers when you're still alive. And I remember the first day I met you, you had just moved into our house and I didn't know you. I mean, you just moved into
our house.
Not our house, but...
It's not like an orphan.
But you just moved into the estate where we stay. And I remember Kobe was like, yo, I know that guy is a producer.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, so we're going to the studio right now. Why don't you call him? And I remember you sat there and with in 2 hours, without even having a relationship with Kobe and Kahush, you already had made a beat and a hook for a song with them. And I was like, God damn, this guy is really, really talented.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
And I respect you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, but on to the conversation. So we have this ritual where we usually ask our guests a random question that comes on my phone every day. And today's question was, what's the craziest thing that's happened to you in high school? And what did you learn from it?
Does it have to be in high school or during high school period?
During high school, whatever. Just what's one of those crazy things that you look back and you're like, this I have to tell my kids.
There's a day that I saw Jesus.
Wait. What do you
I've
mean?
seen Jesus with my own two eyes.
Bro.
Yeah.
Are you high?
I swear, as in, God is my witness. I've seen Jesus before.
Okay, explain to us.
It's a long story, though. Do I get a long story?
Okay, shorten it.
Summarize.
Yes, summarize.
So, I mean, I had gone for music festivals.
Yeah.
In high school, I used to be in the choir.
Yeah.
And so where we stayed was it's the place where the priests stay and the nuns, all of them. We stayed together with them in the same where they stay.
Yeah.
So one night I'm walking down to dinner with my homies,
Yeah.
Then we pass by the chapel.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're Catholic, you know, whenever the Holy Communion is inside the chapel, there's a candle inside there.
Yeah.
So I noticed the candle from as I was walking, very distinctively, and I had this voice tell me, go to the church and pray, go to the chapel and pray.
Yeah.
And I'm going for dinner, so I'm like, let me continue. So as I continue walking, the voice becomes stronger and I pass out because I can't move, I become weak.
Yeah.
The voice just tells me, go to the knee and pray. You know, this time everybody is surrounding me.
Yeah.
Like Angie, hey, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry for cussing. And then
No, you can cuss.
Okay, yeah. So I go to the chapel.
Yeah. I
go and I start praying. And when I start praying, I'm praying in English, but then now it starts switching. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The words are just coming. I'm just like, blah, 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 shambara, siji, what.
Yeah.
And now I snap out of this world.
Yeah.
And I go into a world of white, full white.
Yeah.
And full peace.
Yeah.
And full tranquility.
Yeah.
And then I felt a voice telling me everything is peaceful. Then when I followed that voice, I saw Jesus now telling me just calm, everything is fine.
Yeah.
Just calm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I held his hand and I felt quite peaceful. I felt I don't know how to explain the feeling, but it was just a feeling that I've never forgotten in my life. Long story short, yeah.
And your boys who are around you, can they testify to that? Because of course you have to follow up.
They can.
I'm a key investigator.
Everybody was just saying, hey, Ganjo is being called to be a priest. Gee, what?
So why aren't you a priest actually, even before you get to the act?
I mean, having an experience like that is like challenging.
Yeah.
When I woke up, all the teachers were there surrounding me, all the priests for that place.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, some of them were saying, hey, maybe he has not slept, maybe he's stressed.
Yeah.
Some of them were giving their own interpretations. But after that day, my religious journey has just it's taken its own turn. Let me not even say, but it's just taking its own turn.
Jesus is coming for you again, bro. Trust you.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I'm waiting. I need some clarity and some questions.
So I think I first met you as Mask, and then now I hear you refer to yourself as Sabi Wu. So who are you? Tell us.
I'm both.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not in the box of either of them.
Yeah.
But as an artist, I'm Sabi Wu.
Yes.
As a producer, I'm Mask. I'll classify myself as that right now.
Yeah.
Although at first I was Mask completely.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was signing up for to put my music on Spotify, there's so many people called Mask in the world.
Yeah.
So I chose Sabi Wu because it's just unique. It's a nickname that I had. Sabi was a nickname that I had.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's how it came up.
And you've mentioned from your story that you've shared with us, you've mentioned that you were in the choir.
Yeah.
Yes. So how did your journey begin? Was it a producer first, then a musician, or how did that start?
Well, at first I wanted to be a house producer.
Yeah.
When I was really young, them days for like a Vichy.
Yeah.
When I was young, 10, 11, 12 years old. And my mom bought me a keyboard and I used to like make melodies off of it. But then eventually I started writing bars and I started rapping for my friends. Mm-hmm. And then now when, beats are expensive to make.
Yeah.
My homie took me to some Steph Capella show back in 2015. I was young, 13, 14 years old. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he took me to that show. I met a producer. He told me he charges 5,000. Bro, me I'm 13. So they already 2,000.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just thought, I'm not the person to like wait around for someone to do something for me.
For you.
Yeah, so I just thought like, how hard is it to make a beat? And I just started there, 13 years old, tried, failed, 14, tried, failed. Made my first proper beat when I was 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, and from there now it's just rapped on my own beats and now I'm here right now, basically.
And so I'm guessing from your journey, there's never been... Okay. How did you learn how to make beats? How? Other than that, just having that passion for music and everything.
I mean, it took a lot. Every day, just learning something new, First, you have to learn about music. Then you have to, like there's music theory. Then there's like the actual making trap beats, drill beats, Afro beats, all this. Like you have to learn them individually.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as learning how to make beats. You have to like know what you want to do. So like I just use the YouTube and just trial and error.
Wow.
Yeah. Just finding my own sound that I like.
When you look at it, what was that first beat that you made? Yeah. And you're like, wow, I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
It's even a song that's out on my YouTube right now. It's called Forget Not.
Forget Not.
I made that when I was 16.
Forget Not.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I could always write. Even poetry, just writing for girls in high school.
No wonder your songs are always lovable type of things, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's interesting. So just trial and error YouTube.
Just trial and error and just, I mean, some things, a lot of them which I made were trash. A lot.
Yeah.
But I never stopped. I mean, I was told my beats are trash. I was told my beats are this, that. But I never thought like, I've made a bad beat today. Mm-hmm. It's going to be like this forever. I just knew one day I'm going to be able to make beats properly. Yeah.
And today when you sit on this chair, what do you think is the best beat you've made? What do you think is your okay, maybe favorite. You sometimes I don't think guys have favorite, but maybe you can say top 3.
That's already out now.
Yeah, that's already out now.
Definitely Wacha Nirest.
Yeah. Oh, you made Wacha Nirest?
Yeah.
The beat?
I made the beat. You didn't know?
I didn't know. Oh, Mask music. Now I know.
Yeah. Wacha Nirest. Actually, I think that was like one of the, because actually, Wacha Nirest. I made the beat, then I made a whole song for myself.
Yeah.
Then the song never came out. It like I just threw it somewhere and it never came out.
Yeah. Was it still Wacha Nirest?
No, it was something else. I don't even know what it was.
Yeah.
Then I played it now for Kobe.
Yeah.
You put the hook there. Still, we didn't even know if you'd drop it. Like, we never really thought about that song much. Like,
Yeah.
never knew what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I put a verse, Uma put a verse, and we dropped it, then it became what it is.
Wow.
But I always liked that beat for sure.
The Wacha Nirest beat. And is there any other that you liked?
Yeah, even me now, where just by the fact that I've not had someone in Kenya like making a beat like that. Yo, Sabi Wuski. Ni mina wewe. Achani wachapie basi. Yo, skia, check. Sabi Wu, alakazam, rembo na kola na tafta plan. That type of jazzy drill type.
Yeah.
With of course, it was inspired by, if you listen to jazzy drill, they sample a lot.
Yeah.
But like sampling a Kenyan jam that's timeless, then adding a jazzy bounce to it, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have that. I didn't know if it would work or not, but it worked and it became like super hard. So yeah.
I know as a creative, sometimes when you make something, you're like, this is the one, and then it doesn't turn out to be the one. How do you treat that? And is there a beat that you've come across like that?
That this is a beat, maybe not a beat, but a song. I think I think like most of the beats or all the beats which I make are hard in one way or another. Yeah. But for songs, there's definitely been some which I've made and I thought that they'd do better than they would.
Yeah. And how do you treat that? Because I know sometimes, especially as a creative, and how much time you've put into something, how much energy you've put into something, sometimes it's not the best feeling. So how do you navigate around that? I
mean, I think like some songs which you don't have to make every song or as a creative, you don't have to make everything with the idea that this has to blow up. Some of the songs which you make or some of the pieces which you make as an artist, like they're for you.
Yeah.
Also, that's just as important as having a hit song, because even making something that you like, even though not maybe people like, but you like it and you like it. The few people that like it, you can see that I resonate with someone like this, even though it's not a million people. Yeah. It's still something which me like dearly, that you like to.
Wow. I like that you said that, because I don't know how I've been dealing with that, because the other day I tried to have this lady as a guest, and I asked her nicely, could you be a guest? And she was like, hey, I don't think right now I could be a guest, I feel like your podcast is still a bit too small. And I was like, God, like, wow. Do you know the energy, the time, the investment I put into this?
I feel you.
And this is what, and I remember exactly what I told her. I told her, like, I know it's small. Like, you don't have to tell me, But like I always say, it could change one more person, if it could inspire one more person, if it could motivate one more person. I think one more person is one more good enough. So back to you. As an artist, how do you describe your style of music?
Well, you see, the problem I usually have with that question is people expect like me to put my music in some certain box of like, I'm a drill artist, I'm an Afro fusion artist. Yeah. But I think my music is just what gives that energy of me, of like being exciting, being relatable, being innovative, and being like, just fresh new sound. Yeah. That doesn't feel like I've copied it from someone else. Yeah. Yeah, just my music is just me. Yeah. I mean, obviously I have very many influences from African music, from music from abroad. Yeah. But I don't have just one specific genre or type of music that I do. I think it's just the context of my music that's what I can explain. Okay. Yeah. Which is like, I just like my music to be relatable. Yeah. I like it to make you feel good. Yeah. Like those are the two main aspects of my music. Okay. Yeah.
Wow, you've talked about relatable. I don't know if I should be saying this on a podcast because people talk about it.
It's okay.
I think you have a song called Haga size 10, Kiatu size 2.
10, Haga size 10.
Tell us how that's relatable.
I mean, I think it's self-explanatory.
Yeah? No. So those are the girls you're writing the notes to? Or what?
Me honestly, like me, I like all types of girls.
Yeah.
See to discriminate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So how was your music journey been?
You mean like overall?
Yeah, overall. How do you think it's been from when you started to where you are now? How do you think it's been?
I mean, when I started, I never really thought I'd reach this point. Let me not lie.
Yeah.
I never really envisioned it. I was just going off of like day by day.
Yeah.
There's definitely been ups and downs. The ups of performing, meeting people who support my music, people who love my music, people who, all that is amazing, and I love that. But there's also the downs of like having to deal with the problems of being an artist and being kind of like in the spotlight sometimes when you don't want to be. Basically, yeah. So it's not been a constant up or a constant down, or constant anything. It's just been, some days are good, some days are not so good.
Yeah.
Although I love it so much. I love making music. I make music almost every day when I can. I love it.
When you look at it, what do you think your ups are? Because there's something you must say, okay, when I did this, I think, wow, I felt like getting one step closer to the artist that I'm meant to be. Or what was one of those accomplishments that you're proud of?
Okay, so I remember the first time like I had my music played out in a public place.
Yeah.
Was in Bludo.
Yeah.
Bludo. This is 3 years ago, 2020.
Yeah.
And like everybody was singing the words word for word, and I was like, wait, what? This is me. Ganjo, this is me for real. Like I'm actually an artist right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that I think that day is when I realized like then like actually I'm doing something over here. It's not just a joke. So yeah, that's one of them. Another one I can say is when performing at K1, all the performances I've done leading up to now.
Yeah.
Just the feeling of you going to the stage and rapping something which you've written in your bedroom and recorded it. Everyone is singing it word for word. People are grabbing you to the stage to,
Yeah.
like people love the music that much, and they love you that much because of your music.
Yeah.
That came from your head. I mean, that's, and I can't explain that feeling.
Wow.
Yeah.
On your first performance, do you think you had stage fright?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, for real? How was that? Because I recently did a TED Talks, and I can remember my legs were shaking. I remember even telling my brothers, I think if I was wearing shorts, you guys would have seen my knees kissing each other. Wow, they were shaking.
Yeah, I mean, you just know that car feeling you have in your chest become tight.
Yeah.
You're like, now what am I gonna do? Yeah. Luckily, I mean, I had many of the people who were there. I had many friends there who came.
Yeah.
So it felt a bit more comfortable. But I mean, over time, unazoea, you just get used to it. You have to put on the persona of being a performer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to you when you were growing up, or actually, let's talk about you growing up.
Yeah.
So, where did you grow up, and how has that influenced your style of music?
Well, I was born in Buruburu, Phase 1.
Yeah.
Avocado Court, for those who know.
Shout out Buru, man. Brooklyn boys. Huh?
But I wouldn't
you could have
say.
been a Brooklyn boy, yeah?
Yeah,
if you're still
maybe.
there.
Maybe. But then, I mean, I didn't really grow up there. When I was still very young.
Yeah.
I moved to Highview, Ngumo.
Yeah.
Now that's why I can say I grew up for like most of my childhood.
Yeah.
Till I was like late teens.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, there it's influenced a lot of my personality, a lot of my music. Because, I mean, over there, the life was kind of it was just more of like social life, like just being, like having fun, playing with kids in the estate, going around beefing with the next estate. Yeah, like it's just the friends that I have from there are still my friends up to even today.
Wow.
Still talk to them. Yeah, like most of them have inspired me so much, and most of my experiences there inspired me. Yeah.
When you look back at it, did you always want to be an artist, or what did you ever think you'd be before an artist? Because I know we all had the dreams of being something else, and then life has a way of shaping.
Yeah. I mean, first, like my first dream was to be a footballer. I'm sure it's like half of Kenya.
Have that,
yeah. But then when I saw that didn't work out, I mean, I got some injury when I was young.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. And then I wanted to be a software engineer.
Yeah.
And actually, I wrote my first program when I was like 13, 12. I was 12.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to write I wrote this program where like you you write your name and like your skill level on FIFA.
Yeah.
Like you and you, let's say me and you.
Yeah.
Me I write like Ganjo skill level 3.
Yeah.
Maybe you skill level 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Then it chooses like matching teams based on like the categories you put.
Wow.
Then you play. Then you like now it was structured like a whole tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then now like your skill as you win the tournaments, like your skill level kind of improves. Yeah.
Impressive. I never knew that.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I don't know. Like the thing, like my passion for it just faded away.
Yeah.
Eventually, yeah. But I really wanted to be a software engineer. Yeah.
So now that you're a musician, you're a producer, and what do you look at that one pivotal moment in your life and you're like, this is what has gotten me here? Is there like one that moment, or is there like those experiences and you're like, okay, this is the reason that I'm here. This is the reason why I'm seated here today.
Yeah. Let's say from
you've mentioned the one for your mom buying you the piano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd say like for like a personal thing. Like in 2018, 2019, 2020 times.
Yeah.
Like my mental health was like really bad.
Yeah.
I was like going through a bit of like a depression, anxiety.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was just lost. Like just didn't want to do anything. I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But the one thing that always kept me going was like the fact that I can make music every day.
Wow.
And in 2020, it was even, I remember even this day, it was January 2nd. Like I was in like a rut. I was now towards like the deepest deep of my mental health. Like I was having like suicidal thoughts and like it was real. I was like, like me, I'm just living freestyle, bro. Just you do drinking, do drugs, smoke weed every day, like as in whatever. Like me, I don't care.
Yeah.
Then I just got to a low point, and I was even with my folks. We went to like I think Ngong Hill or something.
Yeah.
And I was just down. I wasn't talking to anyone. I was just like, I don't want to be fucking here. I don't want to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Then I just thought, like, am I really like this much of a pussy that does affect you? Nah, I said nah.
Yeah.
Like the one thing that makes me feel like, you know, like at least I want to be here is making music. Wow. So when I went home, I made this song called Love a Freak, and I told myself, like, from now, like, take your music seriously. See, it's what makes you happy and makes you feel alive. Mm-hmm. Just keep on going. And I feel like from that moment until now, I've gotten out of that rut, just slowly by slowly. Yeah.
It's good to hear that you've, even before I've asked the question, that you've brought the whole thing about mental health into the conversation.
Yeah.
And why do you think you got to that point? If you look back at it or you think about it.
I don't think it's anything really that I lacked or anything.
Yeah.
I think it's just like having this expectation of life of like everything is just going to be rosy, and when things don't work out, you start to feel like there's something wrong with you, or there's something wrong with life.
Yeah.
And when you know, like me, I'm someone who doesn't like when I'm in like places of like authority or like places like in school, I feel like I'm too boxed in. You know, I feel like I'm squeezed.
Yeah.
Started, you know, like even in school I got in so much trouble all the time from the time I was like 2 years old.
Yeah.
You know. So like I just used to look at everyone and I used to feel like, hey, everyone is fitting in here, everybody is in school, they find it easy to come and just be in school and they're okay with that life. Me, I'm struggling. You know. Even though I did well in school.
Yeah.
I was a like high grade, A grade student.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it used to feel like such a struggle. You
Yeah.
know? I felt like I was forcing myself to do something I didn't want to. And I mean, just day by day of living that type of life of like trying to fit yourself into a box that you're not. You know, I used to be told by parents, friends, don't be an artist, don't do this, don't do what I want to do, don't do this.
Yeah.
And it just gave me that like attitude towards life of like, that I don't feel like I want to do anything anyone is telling me to do.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, and it just got into my head and I started telling myself, I don't belong here, so what? Yeah, basically that.
Yeah. I know, I understand, and I know it's a very dark place to be. And from your perspective, or from how you look at things, why do you think it's the young men, especially in your generation, that are so affected by mental health? Why do you think that? Because I'm really passionate about men and mental health, especially, and I've been trying to start this thing called Save the Boy Child, because I really see the boy child is in trouble, and I look at it. It's like 8 out of the 10 suicides committed in Kenya are committed by the boy child. So what do you think is wrong around the boy child, or what do you think the boy child is lacking or suffering from that is making them really, 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 really struggle?
I think like most young men are like confused.
Wow. Yeah.
Because I feel like we've been given like conflicting information.
Yeah.
Because on one side, you're told like as a man you have to always know what you want. You always have to take charge and do everything and always be on top, always be on toes. Don't show that you're weak. Don't show that that's not for you. Then on the other side, you're also given all these rules of like, when you grow up, you have to go and do this. You don't go by your own way. Don't follow your own path. Like do the path that set out for you. So you're being told to be on one side. You're being told to make your own decisions, and then on the other side, you're being told like you have to follow this path.
Yeah.
So I feel like most people feel like, hey, I don't know which one I fit in. I feel like I'm in a limbo in between here. I feel like if I'm struggling with something, I'm not gonna tell anyone. And if I tell anyone, I feel like they're just going to shun me, So like, and then there's this, someone will come and tell you like, okay, you should go and share with your friends if you're struggling with something.
Yeah.
Then on this other hand, someone else will tell you like, nah, be a man, keep it in. So like, you don't know what to do. You feel like you're alone. You feel like you're by yourself. You feel like you're in a limbo always.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think like I think that's where most people feel like, it's not worth it.
Wow. So for a young man out there listening to this podcast, or even a young lady out there listening to that podcast, that feels like they're in a bit of a limbo, that feels they're being pulled on one side and being pulled on the other side by different information.
Yeah.
What would your advice be to them? Or what would you say to them?
For me,
Yeah, what would your advice
I'm
be?
sure someone else wouldn't like this advice.
Yeah,
but for me,
yeah.
I'd say like just say fuck everyone. Just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
First, figure out what you want, and then do what you want. If it fits in what this way, or it doesn't fit in any way, just make sure that you want it, and then do it. No matter what your parents tell you, like, no, don't do this. Your friends tell you, no, don't do this. Just do it. If that's what you want to do, you do it. If you're sure of yourself, then do that. That's what's gonna give you like the fulfillment of not being in a limbo. At least you'll have the grounding of being by yourself and being sure of what you want by yourself without someone else telling you. So basically, that's my advice.
Okay. Now away a bit from that.
Yeah.
You're in school.
Yeah.
What are you currently doing, and where are you in school?
Where or why?
Where?
I mean, I'm studying psychology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what influenced you to study psychology? Why did you choose psychology? First of all, for those who don't know, you can explain to them what psychology means. Or what's it the study of, and why you're interested in that study. Because when you first told me that, I was very fascinated about that. So I'd also like to understand and know why that was your choice of career.
I mean, psychology is just basically the study of human behavior and mental cognition of humans, just the way the mind works. Yeah. I mean, it's the funny thing with psychology is that it's not like a science like physics or chemistry, because there's so many things that are up to debate. We don't know our own minds, really. We don't know our own behavior. We don't understand our own behavior. So psychology is sort of like the study of that, all of that, all the theories about that, yeah.
And
you're asking why I chose it.
Yeah, why you chose it?
Basically, because as you said, there's so many people who are going through like terrible mental health, people who are close to me, myself included. So I just wanted to understand, like, what is this brain? Why is it like telling you all this nonsense? Or why is it so hard to like take care of right now?
Yeah.
So hard to understand. So I wanted to understand it for myself.
You've mentioned that you have some of your friends who are going through things.
Yeah.
And so how do you help those kind of people? What are you going to tell someone that's listening to this podcast that knows that one of their friends out there is going through a hard time, but they don't know how to approach them? What do you think? Of course, there's no answer to everything, but what do you think would be a good way to approach someone?
I mean, I've had friends, like family, who've gone through like bad mental health issues, and so I kind of have an experience.
Yeah,
I think the one thing to do, is like show that you're receptive to anything, that you're not too judgmental, and also show that you can be the one to take the initiative to ask, like, hey bro, like, just be honest right now. Don't even hide from me. Just tell me what's going on. Just be honest. I won't judge. Just be honest. Just tell me.
Yeah.
You don't. I feel like what most people do, like not even because they're bad people or trying to do a bad thing.
Yeah.
Is that if they hear you're going through something bad, they'll come and tell you, oh no, but you're such an amazing person. You've done this, you've done that, and like you're this, that. And they think that's what can get someone to open up.
Yeah.
But I feel like by doing that, you kind of close someone off. Wow. Because you've already put them into that pedestal of like saying, okay, you think I'm amazing. Now I have to tell you, actually, no, I'm not amazing. I'm shit like this. So you just have to meet someone at that level of like, hey, bro, I don't care. Like, I don't care with me. I have my own issues, bro. Like, just be open with me. Just be honest. Just share what you're going through. Just tell me how I can help you.
Damn, that's an interesting way to look at things. I never even thought of it like that. Wow. Yeah. When you tell someone that you've been through this, and that everything is okay, look at what you've achieved, and they're feeling bad about themselves, it's putting them in a harder place to tell you.
Yeah.
There you really taught me something.
Yeah.
Now that you study psychology, how do you think your psychology influences your music?
Let me be honest. I don't think psychology itself influences my music.
Yeah.
I feel like the experience of being in uni influences my music.
Yeah.
So that's how you can even see the song, that song where niko frustrated.
Yeah.
Sina ganji, sina dot, sina pesa. Tena msupa wangu ndo anani pressure.
Yeah.
But then it also talks about like the exam.
Yeah.
How like you're not ready for an exam, for a cut and everything. It's just the uni life inspires my music a lot.
So what you go through, you're trying to make, like you said, you're trying to make stuff that's relatable.
That's relatable, yeah.
Now that you're an artist and a producer and all those other things, if you had one chance to meet a model in your industry, who would it be and why?
I think, first of all, the best artist of all time in Kenya, I think it's Bien, and I have so much like reverence and respect for him.
Yeah.
Because him has been there ever since I was a peak, and ever since I was a small guy.
Yeah.
And he's just been consistent. Like, you can see the talent is there.
Yeah.
But also like the mindset that he has towards like music. You can see that he has a good mindset towards it. He never stops. He's always keeps on going.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the way he manages everything from Sauti Soul to Soul Generation. So basically him. I choose Bien.
And internationally, who would you choose?
Internationally, I choose Drake personally.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, because Drake, I choose Drake and I choose Chronix.
Yeah.
Drake obviously because Drake, he's like one of the best to ever do it.
Yeah.
And especially how he's able to, even without being like, let's say, the best rapper or the best singer, how he's able to like tailor his music to fit like so many people in the world. People think like that's an easy thing to do, and they like to downplay. They say like, oh, Drake is like more pop, more commercial. Yeah. But how? Not many people know how to do that. I don't think anybody else knows how to do that apart from him. Yeah. Yeah. So like that's in itself, that's a skill. To be able to appeal to that many people, that's a skill. That's something I'd like to learn as an artist. Yeah.
You also mentioned Chronix.
Right?
Chronix.
Yeah. See, Chronix, now him is kind of like the opposite reason in a way. Yeah. Because his music is like, is true to the soul. Yeah. And it inspires and it affects also as many people. So for him, and even me personally, because even through, I'd say Chronix music has gotten me through the darkest of darkest times. Yeah.
What song do you suggest for the crowd to listen to?
I'd suggest his whole album. The last one he released, I think it was 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, he has a song called Eternal. That's my favorite song. It's called Eternal Light by Chronics and Free Nationals. If you're ever going through a bad time, just listen to that song.
You've heard, guys?
Yeah.
If you're ever going through a bad time, listen to some Chronics.
Yeah.
You've said you said one thing that has really whatever. You said Drake has learned how to be commercial.
Yeah.
I've been in the studio with some of your friends and they still refuse about that commercial part. So how do you get them to understand that? And do you yourself look at your music as a business or it's a passion?
You can't get someone to understand that.
Yeah.
That one you have to be, I don't know how to explain. You can't tell someone to understand an aspect of selling your music.
Yeah.
Because like for most artists, actually for all artists, even for me, like music is personal to them.
Yeah.
So like you have to be you by yourself as an artist. You have to kind of take your mind out of that perception, not completely, but you have to put one side of your head to know that your music is actually a business. It's actually a commercial thing, which can actually get you success in your life.
Yeah.
Even though there's definitely the heart and soul of the music, which is very important. Yeah. You also have to keep that other mindset, which is something you just have to learn. You just have to see it for yourself. Yeah. Okay.
And you see, when I look at it like that, when you're saying like Drake is commercial, when you're saying like even BN is commercial, when you're mentioning all those guys, I look at them, and even you, when you look at like, even I think I was looking at Jay House's album to see some of the writers as well. You see, they don't write it themselves.
Yeah.
So for you young upcoming guys, what's that whole thing against having like 50 other people working on that one masterpiece? I know it's personal, but I wouldn't mind if 50 other people came and helped me do this podcast.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a team behind us. You can see the camera.
Yeah.
Imagine if I came to do all of this by myself.
Yeah.
I would not even be able to achieve half of this quality.
Yeah, true.
And I know if I got bigger guys to do research on this, if I got guys to do the marketing part, if I got guys to do this, it means the podcast can grow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, me, first of all, especially with this new album, like this is like my first kind of doing like a big project where like I'm doing like everything. I've produced how many songs? There are 10 songs. I think I've produced 6.
Yeah.
I mixed it by myself. I mastered it by myself. I thought of the concept by myself. I mean, editing the videos, photos was all me. Writing the lyrics, everything was just me.
Yeah.
And well, it's good to be able to do that.
Yeah.
In my experience, that's like very stressful. It takes away from your ability to produce a good art. Yeah. It takes way more stress and way more time to produce something than when you do it with a team of people.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, what you said, as in it's personal. I think like in terms of like writing, I think there's for even big artists, I don't know. I actually don't know really, but I think that they kind of write for most of the song, the whole concept. Then maybe they're helped with a few things here and there. And also, songwriting is also producing, like making the beat. Yeah. The standard songwriting. Yeah. So it's not like at everyone there wrote at one lyric, one lyric. No. Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, true, I get what you're saying. But when I look at like some of the biggest songs that have actually dropped, you're seeing like 10 writers or at least 10 people have worked on that one song. Yeah. Because even like if you showed one thing to one person, someone will change this, someone will change, and it'll make it better. Yeah. I remember like when I was relaunching this podcast, the first trailer I showed my brother because I was excited with this new setup, the new quality and everything, and he told me, imagine if you could talk to your team to just cut this part out, bro. I think it'll be a much better trailer. And so I talked to the team and they did that. And for sure, it was like probably one of the best things or one of my highest rating things I've released on Instagram, just from one person's edit. Yeah. Now imagine if you had 10 people working like that on the thing.
To be successful. I actually want that.
Yeah.
I want to maintain a lot of the individualism of my music, but right now, from my experience, I don't want like a proper team to work with. Yeah.
Okay. When you look at it, how hard do you think you work on your craft?
I think I work extremely hard.
Yeah.
I think compared to most artists, I work like much harder than most artists,
Yeah.
if not all. Because for me, I don't just write music and record it. I think that's no shade to other artists, of course. Like,
Yeah.
so if that's what they do and that's what brings them success,
Yeah.
and it's fine. But for me, I'm like so heavily invested in everything. In the beat. If you send me a beat, I don't usually just record to it. I edit the beat the way I want to, then I record to it. I don't send it out to be mixed. I mix it myself. I master it myself. You know, if I want to change something, usually it's me who makes the change, who says like, hey, let me change this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like that whole process is really hard. I'm sure even if you ask artists outside there, they'd be like, hey, I wonder how this guy does that. I wonder how he does all that by himself. Yeah. I mean, yeah, basically, yeah.
And when you look at it, I know this is a bit of a tough question to ask someone, but where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years?
Yeah.
Well, as I said, I don't want to be put in the box of just being an artist only.
Yeah.
Definitely want to be a major artist out there.
Yeah.
But I want to do like some enterprise businesses, especially with entertainment, in the entertainment industry, to start with. Yeah. I want to be like a record label exec. I want to manage some artists. You know, I want to be doing shows, festivals. Yeah. I want to be doing all that on top of doing music and also other businesses here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old are you now?
I turned 22 2 months ago.
22. So at 32, do you still see yourself making music?
Definitely. I don't think I'll ever stop making music for life.
For real?
Maybe I don't know if I'll still be like releasing. 32 is still young though.
Yeah, 32 is young.
Yeah. But like in my later years, I don't think I'll be like releasing that.
But you'll still be going to the studio.
I'll still be recording and still be making beats for sure.
Yeah.
I still will.
How do you balance the producing, the music, and the school? Because you seem to have a lot on your plates. So how are you balancing that?
I mean, let me not even lie. Like, school has taken a bit of a backseat.
Yeah.
Because usually, if I put my full mind in school, I'm usually a top student.
Yeah.
But right now, I mean, I'm not one of the top students in my school. That's not a lie. That's not the truth.
Yeah.
So, like, school has taken like much of a backseat.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the music. But I mean, I'm still learning how to balance it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still a work in progress. I would say that.
Okay. I'm sure there's a young person, even an old person, seated out there and they're like,
yeah,
I want to start making music. And I want to do what would be your like 3 tips for them?
3 tips?
Yeah.
Now, 3 tips would be, at first, you'll feel like you have to make music like somebody else.
Yeah.
But that's not what's gonna get you the feeling that you want or the achievement that you want.
Yeah.
You have to find what that thing is within you that you're able to do music with. You know, whether it's you like to tell a story, maybe whether it's like you like to communicate emotions. You have to find that. That's I'd say is the number one main thing. Actually, I don't even think I have any other advice. It's just that. Yeah.
And what do you tell a young artist out there saying, I've been giving this my best, I've been giving it my best, I've been doing my best, but I'm only getting 100 views. What do you tell that young artist?
No, say if you're not gonna push through it, then quit.
Yeah.
But if you want it, then push through it. Like, you won't get. There's no formula. You can make music for 8 years, and then the 9th year you get $100 million from it.
Yeah.
You know, or you can blow up tomorrow.
Yeah.
You maybe get 1 million views and then never get 1,000 views again.
Yeah.
So like you have to have that tenacity and that internal knowledge of like, you know that your music is good and you want to improve. Don't think you'll never reach and say, okay, now I've reached where I wanted to go. You always have to be like, better, let me do better, let me improve this. If you can't do that, then just quit. But if you really want it, keep on pushing. Yeah.
As we come to the end of this podcast, I just want to ask you, what do you think your philosophy of life is?
Yeah.
And how has that helped you accomplish what you've been able to accomplish today?
I think I have two,
Yeah.
which may be a bit differing, but I'll explain.
Yes.
One is if you really want something and you believe that you like deep down you know that you want it, you should give your all to chase it.
Yeah.
You should give your all. Don't listen to anybody outside bringing like, oh, you should do this, or you should do this.
Yeah.
Even though it's your closest friend,
Yeah.
and they might be telling you that out of all the love in the world, but at the end of the day, you came here alone. You didn't come with someone else.
Yeah.
Even your family, I mean, they definitely have so much love for you.
Yeah.
But you have to be able to chase what you want and work hard at it. Don't just say, I'm chasing it, and then you're not doing anything. Work hard for it. And then a second thing is like, if something is meant to happen, then it'll always happen. So don't like force things too much. But this is now in the context of like people. I think like with people, and even with just like things for success, like for example, like that thing for getting 100 plays. If you're meant to be a big artist and you work for it, then it's going to happen. With people, if someone is meant to be in your life, you don't need to go above and beyond to force them to be there or to say like, yo, please take me as an important person. Don't do that. Like if it's meant to be, then it's going to happen. It's going to be there. There's obviously problems happen between people.
Yeah.
But there has to be an extent between problems happening and you like trying to force someone to be in your life or force something that's not there. Don't put your all into bettering yourself. Don't put your all into like forcing things that are outside there externally to come to you. So basically, yeah, those two.
You brought in something important that I actually want to ask. How does you being an artist or a producer or someone in the limelight affect your relationships?
I mean, like with friends, with the close friends, it doesn't affect it much because I'm always myself when I'm with them. But with some friends here and there, there's like a bit of a change, like on how they treat me. Yeah. Because now they see me not as like Weganjo, they see me as like Sabi Wu. Yeah. Whereas previously they just saw me as Weganjo. So like there's a difference I can't even just feel it when we talk. Like it feels like you're talking to me as like, your music's G, what? Hey, long time no see you, G, I don't know how to explain it properly, but yeah, basically that. There's a difference in the way they treat me. I feel like in terms of like not romantic relationships is where it's bad. Yeah. Because I kind of have to, when you're like with your partner, yeah, like that's the kind of the person who knows you almost the closest. That's true. Yeah. So they know you for you. Yeah. But now when I step out, when I'm going out, if I'm like going for a show, going somewhere, I need to step into the frame of being an artist and being a public figure, which sometimes they don't fit in there because like it's all about me right now. Yeah. So like that puts a strain on like those type of relationships. Oh. And then with family also like there's kind of like a change. I mean, I can see that they're proud and they're very supportive. Yeah. That's the good thing. And I mean, at first, maybe they'd see I'm making music, but they just be like, it's just a phase. But once they saw like, hey, actually, people are listening to his music. They're like, oh, wow, this is very impressive. They're actually interested. They're like, Sabi Wu this, Sabi Wu that, So there's the good side, there's the bad side. Yeah.
And finally, when you hear the phrase, just to kick it is a blessing, what do you think it means? Or what do you think it means?
I mean, I think it explains itself, but for me, I'd say, just to kick it is a blessing is like, it really is a blessing. Just to kick it with you, even with everybody, with your friends, with your family. Yeah. You might take that for granted because like, you see your friends every day, you see your family every day. Nothing lasts forever, man. Life doesn't last forever. Yeah. So this is a moment that's going to be important for me and you, in the scope of the rest of our lives. 20 years down the line, maybe when we're both millionaires, billionaires, we'll be like, hey, remember when we did this? We'll watch it on YouTube. Yeah. The same way how 3 years ago I was recording Moments with Alvo, which was we were just joking around. Yeah. Now we watch it and laugh and just be like, oh, this was us. This is like, you need to be doing this more. So just small things which you may think are
not really that significant
Yeah.
are actually what matters in life. Yeah. So just to kick it is really a blessing.
Do you have anything else that you'd like to share with the audience? Something I have missed to ask, or something you wanted to ask me?
Well, something I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, it's your point. It's your
Actually, yeah. Where do you see this music going, like the Kenyan entertainment scene, and within the context of like now us young artists?
I think it's growing, and we can see that there's this whole love from the outside world to come back and love what's Africa.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing a lot of now Kenyan people doing international shows.
Yeah.
You know, before I was really sad. I think even it's in a song when a guy says, how we having Niger night in Kenya. Yes, there's a I don't know who it said, and I was like, oh, that's actually quite a bar. But all I just ask is, maybe as Kenyans, I think we need to support our artists a bit more.
Yeah.
And big shout out to Radio 254 for what they've started, for what they've created. And
True that.
I really pray that God continues to bless them even beyond their wildest dreams.
Yeah.
What I'd say is, I think for you young upcoming guys, artists that I've chilled around with, you need to learn how to commercialize the music. Otherwise, you'll be locked up to a very small population. Yeah. You know, Kenyans were only like 40 million.
Yeah.
So it's a very small population. If you're thinking about going global, you need to try and understand what the global perspective of music is. And like you see, even a lot of these African artists who are huge international superstars, they don't live even in Africa anymore, because they've realized we have to go there first, or we have to understand what those guys are thinking. So taking your music as a business, sitting back and saying, okay, I've dropped this album, these are the statistics behind the album, why don't I think this album did well, and what do I think on this album did well? Get what I'm saying? Just even the other day I was having the same conversation with Mutai and Chorok, and I'm saying, you need to learn how to take this as a business, and if you look at it as a business, you will now understand. I don't know if there's a show I watched, it's called The Idol. The Weekend acts in it, and you could see that those guys, they know what is so commercial. They're even telling you, no, we're not dropping this for you. Yet that is the song you said, no, this is the song that I know is me, this is the song that I know is me, this is the song that I know is me. And they say, no, this is not commercial. And sometimes I listen to you guys, you're unreleased, and I'm like, it's a nice personal song, but it's not commercial, so don't expect it to blow up. You know, you need to, and that's one thing Drake has learned. He's really learned how to commercialize everything he drops.
Okay.
But I think we're in a good place. I think we're in a very good place. I think now just putting those pieces to the puzzle together, and it's a takeoff.
Okay, I hear you. I'd like to talk about my album.
I'm
sure by the time this is out, the album would have dropped. So the album is called Freedom. It's inspired by, African sounds, indigenous African sounds. I've used a lot of African samples from traditional music and just put an urban spin to it. So everybody who's watching this, you better go listen to it, check it out right now. Tell me what you think. Freedom album.
Thank you for blessing this podcast. Thank you for coming on the Just to Kick It Is a Blessing podcast, and sharing your story with us. We really pray that you have your life continues in the right direction, and we hope to have you on this podcast in a couple more years, where you share with us your achievements. For those of you who are tuning in from home, thank you so much for coming in to tune with us on another episode of the Just to Kick It Is a Blessing podcast. We really, 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 really appreciate it. And remember, no matter where you are, no matter what you're going through, Just to Kick It Is a Blessing. Thank you, and see you next week. Goodbye. Hello, guys. Thank you for tuning into the Just to Kick It Is a Blessing podcast. We kindly ask that you like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. The bigger the podcast grows, the better it becomes, and the bigger the guests. So the only way we can grow is if we grow together. So we kindly ask that you please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, and remember, just to kick it is a blessing.